Shemai, my name is Krystal, and today I'm going to talk you through some exercises to strengthen your feet and your ankles. Now this is geared toward those who are doing point work. However, it's for anyone who wants stronger feet and ankles, which will prevent injuries in everyday life as well as in the studio. So join me. We're going to do quite basic things, so you can do them in socks or bare feet or ballet shoes, but only progress to the point shoes if your qualified teacher has put you on point. No one else, yeah? We want to be really safe. So we're going to start first with 30 circles outward with the ankles to warm our ankles up before we put our point shoes on, but also it really strengthens our ankles. Now I'm going to pretend I'm doing 30 for the sake of this video, but you can write down on a little note that you're going to do 30 outwards and then 30 in toward each other. Now you're going to feel kind of like, you're really going to feel like your muscles are warm and getting a little tired in the ankles, but it should never hurt. So if any of this hurts, then stop immediately. Just like with stretching, it should never be painful. Then we're going to do 10 times. We'll do flex, just the arches, toes, arches, yeah? 10 times like that. I'm kind of feeling my shins already. Yeah? Good. And you can do the same thing with the TheraBand as well. That gives a bit more resistance. Now, in Beth's video, she talked about warming up the metatarsals and strengthening them. And then Izzy spoke the same, that massaging the floor idea. So if you have like a little, I don't know, this is like a shawl or a scarf, I'm not sure what it is. Thank you for whoever gave this beautiful thing to me. And you want to do this barefoot. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull it together. Oh, it's tricky. Yeah? With your metatarsals. And so having like a piece of fabric kind of makes it feel like it's purposeful, you know what I mean? Doing it kind of on its own may feel a bit like, well no, if you do it with TV like Beth recommended, that's quite good. But there we go, and we'll do the other one like that. Now again, I mean this is quite a big piece of fabric, so maybe if you're really hardcore, you want to scrunch it all up towards yourself and then lay it out and do the other foot. Yeah, to warm up those metatarsals. So you want to make sure you're not grabbing like that, but you're grabbing with the backs of your toes, so they're staying quite flat on the floor. Yeah? Okay. So now, what we'll do is some rises. So we're going to just go through the feet like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 8 more with the plie, yeah? Un, dau, tri, pedwar, pimp, chwech, saith, oith. Yeah? Really getting those ankles warmed up. And let's do some rises. I think you've seen this in videos. So I would also do 8 more like this. And then 8 more using one foot. And then 8 more using the other to really warm up. Okay, so once you've done all of that, we have our point shoes. So these are ones that I wore when we did Romeo and Juliet in Bermuda. So they're my special ones. I'm going to write on them and keep them forever after I've used them. So this is the color that I've used for this. I'm not an advertiser, I'm just showing. And then just to paint them so that they match the color of my skin, and actually I got quite lucky and that's quite close. Now I wear Grishkos because I like how solid they are and they make me feel really supported for a really long time. So when I first get them, they're a lot harder than this. So the first thing I do, I don't have a new pair today to show, but I just stand on them to really make the box really flat and soft, yeah? And then I do the same with the other. I mean, these are already there, but I'm just demonstrating. And then I make sure I have a nice demi point so that I can really go through my feet as much as possible, yeah? And now I would embarrass myself if these were new, so luckily they're old. Yeah, to really kind of squeeze the box. You don't want it soft, but it needs to be kind of malleable. so that it goes with your feet and it doesn't feel like it's doing its own thing when you're trying to dance. Okay, so I put a little mark so I know which one's my right. I have heard it's better to swap, but okay, these are my toe pads. Put those on first. Some people use lamb's wool, but maybe I'm lazy, I don't know. Toe pads seem easier and it works for me. And then I flex my foot and I take the inside ribbon first and I wrap around. And then I take the outside ribbon and I wrap around. And then I do a nice knot in it. I keep my foot flexed so I know how tight it's going to be when my ankle's at its widest. And then I put it underneath just there. Hope you can see that. Okay. So other people have their own ways of doing their pointe shoes, of breaking them in, of tying them, everything. So you kind of have to, especially if you're a young dancer, well I guess any dancer, but you know, when you're a young dancer, you kind of find what works best for you, for your shoes, so that you don't feel like, you know, so try a few things. Okay, it's tricky when you're paying for your shoes, so try slowly. But yeah, okay, and now that we have these on, I have my pointe shoes on. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. We'll start slow. So just do a demi, really push in, point over, demi, and down. Demi, really push over, demi, and down. Really to kind of warm up the shoes as well. But it kind of warms up your feet in the shoes so the shoes know exactly what your demi point looks like. And then the same going through the feet for 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then again with the plie. One thing that's really tricky in pointe shoes at any stage is getting the best plie, your best plie. So I always make sure that I focus on this when I'm teaching pointe work, getting a good plie in it, and even when I'm warming myself up, that I really go as low as I can, I mean without throwing my butt out, you know, and pushing the heels down. Okay. Another thing that's quite good for pointe work, these plies, okay. Now, you take one foot off, just flat, and you want to do 8 plies in parallel, and you want to make sure your knee is going over your second toe. This is really good for your stability in pointe work, yeah? So often I do this on stage before a show to kind of get where I'm going and train my knees. Seems silly, but it's really important. So many times people get injured from how they land, not the jump itself, but the landing. And this is quite tricky. Actually, I think it's trickier on carpet. Ooh. Yeah, so 8 each leg, and it's really good. You could do the same turned out then, just to make sure it's going over the correct foot. So, I hope that helped a bit. A good way to tie, strengthening exercises. You can also do those plies on one leg with flat shoes on or with no shoes on, and really train your muscles that this is the way I need my knee to go whenever I plie. Ballet is a beautiful thing and it's amazing to do, but we want to make sure we do it right because it can be so dangerous if it's done incorrectly. So make sure you read the disclaimer and listen to your teachers and be really safe about it. We want a long career and healthy bodies. It's really nice having this time with you, and I'll see you soon.